Hey gamers, Steve G here from Pickpocket Press, and today I've got a 5 to 8 minute video on armor and weapons, and maybe pirates. Let's start with weapons. So the first thing to notice about the LFG weapons list is that we did our best to reduce the number of obviously subpar weapons choices, and we did that partly by giving most weapons some kind of extra bonus or trait that differentiates it from other weapons in its class. So, for example, the longsword does D8 damage and it has a natural 19 effect, a nat 19 of disarming your opponent. I'll talk about that more in a minute. But the short sword, which only does D6 damage, has the same nat 19 effect, but it also gives you a +2 bonus on your initiative. And further, the dagger, which only does D4 damage. It has the same +2 initiative bonus as the short sword, but you can also throw it. So extra benefit there. And to complete the loop for that one, the great sword does D12 damage, but its nat 19 effect is slightly different. It dazes or rattles your foe so that they automatically go last in initiative next round. All right, so a number of the weapons in the LFG table have a natural 19 effect or a nat 19 effect. And so when you make your attack roll, if you roll a 19, 7, no good, your attack gets special benefits. So for swords, it's a disarm, you disarm your opponent. For axes, you force the opponent to roll on the injuries and setbacks table. Hammers knock your opponent prone or push them 10 feet. And there's a few other different variations. So the whip, for example, you can choose to disarm or trip your opponent. And as you might suspect, monsters also get nat 19 effects. So, for example, the skeleton, if it rolls a nat 19 on its attack roll, another skeleton appears from a nearby passage, or a defeated skeleton reanimates and starts attacking. A imp, on the other hand, imparts dark sorcery on the target and makes them roll on the dark and dangerous magic table. And a troll, one of my favorites, if it rolls a natural 19, it eats your pet or your hireling. I mean, assuming such things are available, depending on the circumstances. But that's its nat 19 effect. All right, so let's talk about armor for a minute. In LFG, there's basically 3 levels of armor. The light armor gives you +1 to your AC. Medium armor gives you +3 to your AC. And heavy armor gives you +5 to your AC. But the heavier armors impose small penalties on stealth and swimming, that sort of thing. In addition, shields give you +1 AC, but they also have a special ability. So the special ability is that a player with a shield can declare that they want to negate a single directional attack. So that might be a sword blow or a crossbow bolt or a bear's claw, but it might also be a dragon's breath weapon. And to do that, so the player just says that they want to use their shield to negate that attack, and they do. And then the GM decides whether the shield is destroyed or whether it's just damaged and can be repaired at a nearby village or whatever, and so continue to be used. Both weapons and armor in LFG can be made of special materials, and part of the reason for that was we didn't want to have to require magical weapons to bypass certain creatures' immunities and resistances. So, for example, a silvered weapon is best against a lycanthrope or an aberrant terror. Cold iron weapons work best against demons and undead. And mithril weapons are basically lighter and faster than your normal weapon. And adamantine weapons are extremely durable, cannot be destroyed by conventional means. And as an armor, for example, adamantine reduces critical hits that the wearer suffers to normal hits. All right, and just briefly before I go, I'm going to talk about critical hits and fumbles. So we have those in LFG. Natural 20 is a critical hit, and a natural 1 is a fumble. So on a critical hit, what happens is you do maximum damage for your weapon dice, plus half your level rounded up as bonus damage. So on a critical hit in LFG, you will always get more damage than normal. So, for example, a fighter with a massive two-handed sword that does D12 normally will do 12 damage, plus say 2 for their strength bonus, 14. And if they're 5th level, they do it half rounded up, so another 3. So they would do 17 damage with their greatsword on a critical hit. And important to note is that monsters also do this. So an ogre that does 2d8 damage will do 16 damage on a critical hit, plus half its hit dice, which are 4, so another 2. So it will do 18 damage on a critical hit. And monsters ignore strength bonuses and so on. They're simplified. Okay, and for fumbles, if you roll a natural 1 on your attack roll, 17, all good. If you're in melee, then you don't fall over or drop your weapon or anything like that. Instead, your opponent gets a free attack against you. And if it's a ranged attack, then either there is no effect, or if you've got an ally in melee with your target, then you have to re-roll your attack against your ally. Other than that, the GM has a discretion to allow a player to make a luck save to negate a fumble if the player wants to. All right, and that's all, folks, for my short video on armor and weapons. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it made sense. If you've got any questions, please, by all means, ask down below or on MeWe, Facebook, Reddit, any of those. And next video, I have no clue what it's going to be, but I'm sure it will be awesome. So till then, cheers.